Seth,
Yeah, man.
hey, I have one request.
Yes, sir.
Since your group is growing so fast, don't ever lose the intimacy of the small group. Because when you have 500 people,
You cut out there. Did I lose you, or did everyone lose him?
I heard him. He just want to make sure that we still keep the same small group and the same chat, and make sure we don't lose that the essence of our group. And
intimacy.
Actually, that's what we're doing.
Sorry about that. My audio completely cut out for a minute. So hold on here. I'll be right back. Saad, give me 1 second, okay? I'll be right back.
So you have a good day so far, Eddie?
Huh?
You having a great day so far?
Yes, good day. I'm going to have to break away for a little while because I have my dad over for dinner, but I'll come back.
We have 1 hour, so if any questions you have, you can ask them right away so we can answer them if we can. And then you can go and hang out with your dad.
I'll be back. I'm just going to eat real quick and come back.
No problem, man. Every time I speak to you, have vegetables or...
Yes, I had food in the oven last time. It's bad timing.
That's not bad timing. Food never have a bad timing.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys. They turned the Bluetooth speaker on downstairs, and it automatically connected this to that Bluetooth speaker, one of the ones that we promoted. And so I completely could hear myself, but it was down there. So I was like, what in the world is going on? So, but to answer your question, Eddie, that's why we bring on coaches, so we don't lose the personal feel and the intimacy of a group, of a family, a community. So I 100% agree with you, man.
Yeah, it's important.
Absolutely.
Where's Andrew? Where does he live?
I am from Miami, Florida, sir.
Oh, I'm in Miami. How is it sunny where you are?
It's not. It's just the light coming from outside. I actually just finished working a territory around Kendall.
Oh, okay.
And I just took advantage right now. I was like, I'm not gonna be able to make it home.
I live in Miami Beach.
Oh, perfect. I've been in Kendall for about 10 years now.
I grew up down there.
Oh.
I went to Palmetto High.
Oh, nice. I grew up in Venezuela. I'm from South America myself.
Oh,
But I've been here for 10 years in the United States.
Okay. Yo nací en Puerto Rico.
Oh, sabroso. Sounds great. I'm glad I have a fellow warrior around.
Yeah.
Nice. And for how long you been involved?
Just 3 weeks. 3 weeks. It's a great group.
All right, guys. We're gonna go ahead and start the webinar and the session Q&A. As you know, we just gonna start with. Only 10 people are allowed to come in the Hangout because that's the limit of Google Hangout. Only 10 people. Also, for the people who weren't able to join us video, they can join us on the YouTube channel. They can drop their questions and we can get to them and answer them. Also, would like to set some rules. Would like to we want to focus on one subject. So if the question is usually if the questions are very broad and they need more details, I would like to move on and we can let the other people ask their questions. So would like to get as many questions as possible so we can cover most topic as we can. Also, we have 1 hour, so let's make the best out of it. And anybody and everybody who's not speaking, please just mute your mic. So in that order, we'll be able to hear whoever has a question clearly. So let's do it, and let's start with any questions. So anybody has a question can start.
I'm gonna go ahead, Andrew. Go for it.
All right, perfect. Yeah, just a quick one then. One of the new questions. As of right now, I have accumulated about maybe 20 products on my tracking section in Amaze Owl. Is that something that is coming to collect a lot of them there, or is it usually just a few?
Sorry. All right. Andrew, actually, you can track the product that you would like, as many as you can, and later on you'll be able to see which one has the most volume, the search volume, and how many competitors. And according to that, you can make a decision which product you would like to go with. I'd rather that you go with less than strong 10 competitors. So keep it below 10, that will have better chance. Usually it's 20, as Seth said, is better, but I think 10 and 12 is very good. Leave the search volume higher. Let's say over 20,000, okay? And it should be fine from there, man. And the sales volume is very important. Make sure that you have enough sales that spread out about something. I'm sorry. Just kidding.
Hey, Paul, could you mute your mic until you're ready to talk? Just because. Thank you, man. Awesome. We were just getting feedback there.
Is that good, Andrew?
Yeah, that definitely answered my question. Thank you, man.
Ihab, please. Do you mind if everybody who's not talking, please mute their mic? And if you have the question, you can go ahead and ask it right away.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so there's a question in the chat. I'll read it, Saad. The chat on the YouTube side. Dan says, I do some freelance work helping other Amazon sellers. Sometimes I need access to their Seller Central, so they add me as an authorized user. Any experience with this? Issues you think? So, Dan, I'm assuming when you say you need access to their Seller Central, so they add you as an authorized user, yes, I do this all the time. Many of my clients give me access to their Seller Central account where I can actually log in. I can't actually see their payments, any of their personal info, but I can only see their ads, their products. I can edit products, update them, remove them, create campaign ads, tweak them, and stuff like that. So I've never run into any issues with that. And I think really, I mean, if there was going to be an issue on that, Dan, it would be because they're giving you access to them, right? So the risk really would be for them, not you. So if that answers your question, let me know, and just you can chat in response. So I don't know if there's anything you want to add to that or not, Saad, but that's my best understanding of it.
Yes, I have the same understanding. I know there's a lot of suppliers also in China. They get some access to their clients' account, and that order to be able to replenish and send more inventory to them. And yeah, and I think that's something that you have to call Amazon Seller Central and get more informed about it, because there's multiple account authority or something that you can ask for. You can have limited access depending on what you would like to do.
Right.
I have a question.
Yeah, Dan, if you want to go live, click on the Google Hangout link that Saad posted on Facebook. He posted it on there, and do it quick, because once it fills up to 10, there's no more. So
I have a question.
What's up, man?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, man. Very good. Go ahead.
All right. So I'm launching my first product in about like a month, and I'm gonna have 3 colors. Do you guys recommend to have all 3 colors on the same listing, or do you guys recommend making a separate listing for each color? That way I could do PPC for each color.
Actually, this is a very good and interesting question, because Danilo, he just went through that. He has a variation. He did very well. What I recommend that you start with a variation in one listing with 3 variation. When you accumulate enough reviews on the listing, then you can ask. You can call the Seller Central, and you'll be able to split your listing into 3 for each color. And why I would say that, and I recommend that, because when you're on PPC, so imagine how many listings are going to be on the top of the page. You're going to have, for example, the red, the blue, and the black is going to be on top. if they were ranking organically, and the same time when you run the BBC. So imagine how many spots you would occupy in the same page, which is a very powerful thing to do. For a customer's eye, when he sees that, he sees you occupying the whole page, is going to give them more confidence on the brand, and they will buy it, and the conversion rate will be much higher. That's what I recommend.
My only concern with that is from what I learned from Daniela's post is when you split it in 3, your reviews stay on the main one, and the other 2 would have 0 reviews. So you recommend like just running another promotion for the other colors, or do you just leave it?
What I would think is the best, maybe you can get the reviews split up after. For example, if you run a promotion on our group, or you run it in any other groups, let's say, for example, you can make 30 on the listing when it has 3 variations. When you split them, you can ask for the other variation who didn't have any reviews. So you can accumulate, for example, 5 reviews or 10 reviews in each listing, and that will boost your conversion. And also do the hack where you can also buy together. That's what helps you also a lot. For example, when you do the promotion, let the buyers buy the blue and the red and the black together, like how Seth did yesterday with his product. He launched 4 of them and made sure that all of them are bought at the same time, and that's going to help you a lot in your listing as well.
The only thing with that is like I thought we're only supposed to do that. Like after that it will be a while, you know. So the promotions in the beginning, you recommend having them all together. So you're saying when I run the second promotion, group them together?
It's up to you. You can run it in the beginning if you're going with the split variation, all right, or you can do it at once. So it's all up to you. It's your decision how you want to go about it.
Okay.
How you feel comfortable. You have the options now, and now you can take your choice, man.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem.
And then Susan mentioned in the chat, hi guys, I can see everyone but can't see myself. So Susan, that's because you're on the YouTube link, which is fine. You're not supposed to be able to see yourself there. So I'd also posted a Google Hangouts link on the same link, and he explained that that's where you can go on video, but it's limited to 10. So we still have spots in here. If you click on that, you're welcome to join. I see Dan just joined, or you can just ask your questions on the side. Oh, so she would like us to cover her question from Facebook. Saad, so do you want to take that, man?
Which question? I'm really not sure.
Here, I can grab it. Here, I'll read it. And I did see it too. So Susan said, okay, so I'd like to have some time to talk about more FBM and FBA as well. .ca Canada, .com US, set up at beginning stage of registration for the Amazon seller. I'm a bit confused. So what I'll share in this is, first of all, you have to decide what your goal is. So Susan, if you want an easier path to sales but fewer sales, look at Canada. If you want a more difficult path to sales but also more sales, then pick the US. The US has more competition, so it's more difficult, but there's a lot more money going through .com than .ca. Having said that, Canada is growing. Now, on a super tactical, practical level, the easiest way to do it, especially if you're in Canada, is sign up with .ca first. In my understanding, and Canadians, Odd, you guys correct me if I'm wrong on this, but my understanding is you automatically receive a unified North American account, which means you have access to .mx for Mexico and US and Canada. So it only makes sense to start with Canada. Then it's easy to sell in all 3 versus starting with US, and then you have to apply for approval, like I had to sell in Mexico and Canada. So let me know if that helps. And so I don't know if there's anything you wanted to add to it, man.
Actually, sorry, absolutely, you're right. When the Canadians usually have the .com and Mexico all open for them. But as I understand from Susan, that she has a lot of relatives in the States, and she would like to start with the States. And I think as what I did, I went with .com. I'm selling with .com, and then if I see the success in .com, I'm going to launch the product in .ca. Because
Hey, Susan, are you cool to mute your mic until you're ready to talk? That way it doesn't give a lot. Oh, perfect, you did. Thank you. Awesome, appreciate it.
Oh, did I open it now?
Yes. Now it's on. Yep.
Oh. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no problem. And did that answer your question?
Yes, but because I heard some stuff from you as well as other member of the Facebook and Sad and the girl that talked to me on Amazon, I was really confused. Which way should I go? Finally, go .ca first, .com first, and a little confused that way. But now I start with .ca then.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would do. And that whoever told you that from Amazon was incorrect. I
Yeah.
know that for a fact. So they don't always know their stuff as well as they should. So it's always good to check with the group because we're the people literally doing it day in and day out. We're living it. They're not necessarily selling, right? They're just answering phone calls. So yeah.
That's true. Seems to me she wasn't very sure too, but because she was from Amazon, I thought maybe she knows better than me, of course. Okay, thank you, guys.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, guys, the next question. Anybody feels free?
Hey Seth, I don't know if you understood the user permissions thing. My only concern was the like logging into two different seller accounts from the same IP address. Do you have any experience with that?
I do it all the time, not a problem. Now this is if you're logging in as a guest to someone else's account. Are you saying for your own two Seller Central accounts, or you're saying as a guest to someone else's who you're doing work for?
Yeah, so how I have it set up is I have one email address for my Seller Central account, and I only have one Seller Central account. Then I have another email that I use for the user permissions on the other accounts that I log into. But I only have one account.
Totally fine. No issues at all. Amazon's totally cool with it. They understand that. So yeah, you're totally good because you're helping them. I mean, Amazon set it up. Like imagine if, I have someone in my house who I need to give access to my account, or someone who lives in the same area or using the same internet or in the same office. You could have a whole team of 5 people. We all have different access levels that I give them to work on the same company. So yeah, that's not a problem at all, man. You're good.
Yeah, my only concern was like just the IP address stuff. It's like, all right, one IP address, the same IP address is logging into, 3 separate accounts. But I didn't think it was a problem since one is a main account and then the other ones are just kind of user permissions.
Right. Exactly. Yep. No, you're good.
Cool.
Anybody has any other question, guys? Go ahead. Your time.
Right. Okay. Hello. We have a question about lifestyle. We understand you want to put someone actually using your product, and we understand that. In reference to it's some cards that we're selling. Okay, so to avoid anyone saying later down the road, hey, you owe me money because you used my picture. We're not quite certain how to go about that. Maybe you could offer some advice on that.
Actually, what I know is that I wouldn't use someone else's picture just for copyright issues. What I would recommend that you just take a picture actually one of the products that I'm doing, I'm actually getting one of my family members to take a picture of them using my product, and then I will just send it to get it photoshopped if I needed to. So I'd recommend you use someone from your family or your friends or anybody that you would like to use. As long as people can relate to the picture, and face-to-face is always, there's a better connection with the customers and they will convert better.
Yeah, we understand that. We just we weren't sure if there was something that we should. If it's a family member, you shouldn't have to worry about that, obviously, right?
You never know, though.
Okay, I guess that answers our question. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, guys, let's keep going. The next one.
If you're in this Google Hangout room, feel free to just hop on to audio and ask away. And then if you're on the YouTube link, just chat it away. This is your opportunity, guys, to ask anything at all that we can help you with. Just ask away. We want to help you. So think about where you're at your store, what stage you're at. What is the next thing you're struggling with? We want to help you. So feel free to ask anything.
I have another
And
question.
if it's about like, oh, go ahead. You go.
Okay. If let's say if I want to order a sample from China, and I start with DHgate, you know, and the sample looks just like the sample that I could get from Alibaba. How do I go about that? Or do I have to go directly to Alibaba, I get the sample, or?
What I recommend you can use DHgate if you wanted to, but not for a sample, because each factory, they will have the same product but different material that they make their product with. So if you're dealing with a manufacturer, I'd rather that you take a sample from them personally and not to use a similar product from another website. For me, even one of the group, they had a product and they got the same product, the same color, the same shape and everything. They took from 3 suppliers and each one of them had a different material and they were so bad. Only one of them that was worth buying. So I recommend you just buy it from the manufacturer right away, the one that you're going to deal with.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I see Paul wanted a question.
Saad, I have a question. Is okay?
Let's go, Susan.
It's very basic, but if I want to leave a review or something for someone, I just pick whatever name I want, or it's directly go through my email name to, you know, it shows my email name or something, or whatever name I use for my email.
Exactly. So first of all, there's no stupid question. Any question that you have is valuable to everybody else. Maybe people are shy to ask that question, but if that's going to help you, ask the question, please. What there's a seller account and there is your personal account that you buy from. Both of them are disconnected. They're not connected in any way. What I do, I have my Seller Central, and then I have my personal account that I purchase stuff from it. So the one that I purchase from, I can name it anything I want. For example, my name when I leave a review is Sam. Okay, I leave the review under that. So I would, for you, just go ahead and review it under your personal account. And don't worry, they're not linked together, so don't feel like suspicious. Oh my God, they're gonna link me and everything. Both of them are different entity.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I have a question. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So I'm in the fine phase of this right now. So I'm still searching. Spent a number of hours looking. Kind of a, I don't know, general question, but so when I've found lots of potential products and I'm digging into it now, trying to do deep analysis. My question is, when I find a product, I'm going into a niche and I start comparing the competitors. So I'm trying to get the terminology right here. So I track the product and then I do the, I forget the name of it, but I go into the competitors and I'm trying to, you know, X out, delete some of the competitors that aren't supposed to be there.
Exactly.
Am I trying to delete? Am I trying to leave only the exact matching products, the ones that are fitting my niche completely, or am I trying to get the ones that are matching my keyword search?
Yes, I would go, because when you do an Amazon, first of all, you're gonna choose the product, the high potential ones, and then you're gonna choose the keyword that associated with that product. So when you choose that keyword, Amazon right away will generate all the related product to this keyword. But what we do when we see the strong competitors, and then you're gonna choose strong competitors associated with that product. Sorry. So, Susan, please just if you can mute your mic, please. So what happens is that I go to the competitors, I see their products. Any similar products to the one that I'm looking for, I'm gonna keep. But there's a lot of products that you're gonna find they're not related. They're completely different. These are the ones that I cancel. I will take away. Because what happens is that I want to make sure that I'm competing with the right product, with the right sellers of that specific product. Because sometimes, for example, I search a product and I saw that I have 22 strong competitors. When I want to look at their product, there were half of them not the same product that I was looking for. So in that way, I have a better chance competing with those people, and I'll be able to get it in the market way easier. What's called that? The ease of entry is gonna be much higher.
Okay.
Does it make sense? If it doesn't, let me know. I can explain again.
No, that does. I mean, if I was to give you an example, it'd be so let's say I'm looking for a like a solar battery charger that will power devices, charge devices. And when my competitors, I look at the competitor list and it pulls up other types of solar batteries that are charging cars and other stuff. I need to delete those ones, right? Because they're not specifically charging devices.
Exactly. I would take them out. I would take them out personally because that's in the specific niche that I'm in.
Okay.
For completely for different use. So I would take them out.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
No problem.
Here's a technique
Go ahead,
you can
man.
use on that too. No problem, man. Here's a technique you can use on that too, Paul. Is let's say you're in a category and you're looking at battery chargers and there's a ton of competition. There's too much. So what you do is then you do another search in a smaller category, battery chargers for cars, for example. And then maybe if that's too much competition, now you're gonna go to battery chargers for, sports cars. You see what I mean? So the way you find a product niche is you keep niching down until the competition is not too strong, but the demand is still high. It's always a balance of demand and competition. And so if there's too much, don't necessarily give up on it. Maybe you need to find a subcategory of that category. But if you get too far niched down, yeah, no competitors, but also no demand. Does that make sense?
Yeah. My follow-up question would be, for this example, when I typed in my keyword search, I was searching for solar battery chargers, and it had about 300,000 plus searches a month. So I was like, great. So I found that, and I was like, okay, I'm interested in this hiking, lightweight solar charger that powers devices and stuff. When I looked up competitors, those keywords brings up a whole host of other products that aren't related. So when I started axing those out, it changes my competitor number. But then I was like, do I need to change the keyword here because this is not specific enough? When I change the keyword, then the demand, it shrinks. That's the right way to do it, right?
Gotcha. And the reason it does that is the way Amazao is built is when you type in a keyword, all it's doing is it's going to Amazon and it's pulling up all the products that have that keyword attached to that product, whether it's on the back end, like in Seller Central, or the title, or the first paragraph of the product description, or the bullet points. So it doesn't really know what it's pulling. It's just a computer. It's just pulling up. So sometimes products will come up and it's totally irrelevant. That means that seller is using a very irrelevant keyword. So in that case, don't even worry about it. But that won't change your demand. It'll change your competition, which can change the stars on the demand, because competition is a sign of demand, but it won't change the monthly search volume demand. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So in that case, just remove all the ones that aren't what you're looking for and then relook at it and say, okay, now do I need to niche down more or do I need to stay here? And if you end up with like 2 competitors, very rarely would I send you guys a product with 2 competitors every now and then, unless the demand is huge and obviously it's a growing trend. See what I mean? But then if it's only 2 and you can't niche down anymore, then it's the wrong product and you need to look for a different one.
Okay, thanks.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely. So Saad, Health Fitness asked, I'll let you take this one, man, if you want. I accidentally ordered 2 products for review under my seller account. Does this mean I have to leave my review under that account as well, or can I leave a feedback under my personal account?
Actually, I'm not understanding the question very well. Does it mean that he bought the product from the Seller Central account, like from his business one? And
yeah, I'm not totally understanding it either. I'll read it again. I accidentally ordered 2 products for review under my that's where I'm getting confused. Is your seller account, you can't order a product on Amazon from your seller account. Your seller account is when you're selling stuff to other people. Your buying account is where you have your public profile, So can you expound on that, Health Fitness? Because it's a little confusing. And then Jeff Cartwright, can you see Jeff's question? You want to take that one?
I have my 25 items picked out, really excited. How do I get my listing up the list? What things do I need to do to get up on the ranking? What I would suggest to you, Jeff, I'm very excited that you found 25 products, which is very exciting time for you. What I would do, I would first of all, you need to get some reviews to be able to get a social proof that your product is very well. So that's where the group is going to come in. And secondly, you're going to need to optimize your product to the max for the key, the search terms in the back end. And you're going to have them in your description, in your title, in your bullets, in your description, as well as your pictures needs to be on point. And after that, you need to run BBC, and that will show you in the first product. And you will be able to higher rank. You will able to rank higher by converting your while you convert into sales. And that's how people rank, is by converting a keyword into a sale. So when you get sales, you will rank up higher. I would recommend you run BBC for almost a week to 10 days. I recommend actually 10 days because usually 2 days in delay. And after that, I would run automatic and manual campaign. So you have the automatic one, run at a budget of $15 daily budget and 75 cents as a bid per click, and see how it goes. And after that, we can tweak the PPC, and all starts with a good product for sure to be able to rank higher. I hope that answers your questions. BBC, it's means pay per click. It's PPC. Maybe with my accent, a little bit sounds like BBC. So I'll go with BBC. It's pay per click. It's basically is Amazon advertising service. They will help you for a fee that you will rank for a specific keyword. So when the customer search, for example, an Apple TV, that's when someone search it, you'll be able to bid for that keyword. So you'll be able to show first. So basically, you buy your position on the search term on Amazon. Hope that answers your questions. That's for TIFF. So anybody has any other questions? I think you had a question. You can go ahead.
All right. So my question is, when you're in the launching phase and you're actually getting your reviews, you still have the product by you because you're fulfilling it yourself. So say you get 30 reviews and your product ranks and it goes all the way to the first page, or you get 50 reviews, it goes to the first page, then you're going to start getting organic sales. So my question is, the product is not in Amazon's hands, so it's not FBA yet. So what do you do in that? What would you do in that situation?
That's a very good question. What I would start with, first of all, when we said the hack with that you fulfill your products by yourself, which is FBM, we said you're gonna keep your title, your bullets, your description at minimum. So basically, you're gonna have a bullet. Let's say your title is gonna be only like few words. Then you're gonna have your bullet very small, and description is gonna be very minimal. And the picture, maybe you're gonna have one picture. In that case, also in the back end, you wouldn't have any search terms. You're not gonna have any keywords. So for the people to look into your product is gonna be very minimal. That's first of all. Secondly, when you do FBM, fulfilled by merchant, you're gonna get reviews. We recommend you get from 20 to let's say I say 15, but they recommend 20 to 25 reviews. For sure, you're gonna rank higher. When you rank higher, you're gonna show maybe in the first page or second. That's a chance you will take, because if you get reviews and you get conversion, it's a little cost for you to pay. Especially your product is not gonna be that expensive, so I think you can sacrifice a few dollars for organic sales in the sake of getting those initial reviews that you want to launch your product. And secondly, also, if you're worried about losing your inventory and everything, there's some Seth videos that you limit how many items each person can buy, and you can use that hack to limit, for example, one product per person to buy. Also, if you were worried about that, you have another option. You can connect with the buyers from the group. Hey, listen, do you mind if you go with me? Can we chat on the Skype? And when you're ready to buy my product, I can change the amount of the FBM. For example, you can put inventory 1. Okay, go ahead and buy it. So when they buy it, you know that you have only one in your inventory. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. But I guess what I don't get is, like, you kind of have to work out the timing as well. So I mean, you can also keep like 50 units or 25 units in your hand and then ship it to FBA. I mean, from what I know, it takes like 2 weeks to actually update the system and show your inventory. So within that time, you can get the reviews, correct?
It's correct. It takes around a week, but don't forget, when you get your product, you can leave 25 or 30 units at home while you send the other ones in. You can even delay your sending your shipment to FBA if you wanted to, if you want to make sure that you get all the reviews to begin with. And then you can send your FBA. But FBA, as you know, this is going to take from 7 to 2 weeks, you know. So it's up to you, honestly. But I would do it that way. I wouldn't care about $3 or $4 for a review, because each review, trust me, it's more valuable, and you're building a business for the future. So spending a little bit of money of a few dollars now, and then you're gonna make the thousands, I would take that deal anytime.
And the other thing,
Thank you so much.
the other thing too on that EHOB is when you have an FBM and FBA, those are two different SKUs, okay? But your ASIN is the same. It's one product in the catalog. So if I go to your product and let's say you're selling a Cobalt bowl, I can see an option to purchase an FBM, another option FBA. So if you run out of inventory in one, it won't hurt your ranking as long as you have inventory in one, because there's still that buy option, and all the reviews go to the same listing. So 2 ways to buy, same listing.
Sure.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Another question, guys?
Susan asked in the chat, Susan Segarra said, so the two accounts, FBM and FBA, have the same ASIN. Oh, got me answer. Oh, perfect. Didn't even see it. Awesome. Very cool.
I'll go ahead with a question. I'm really interested in the sense of, since right now I've been going through a lot of the first products, I've been thinking of how it's going to be marketed. And usually, obviously, I don't know if you focus on one category and expand within that category, so that way you can build under that one brand, or is it better to have a name that is very general to be able to sell different products from different categories?
All right, Andrew. What I would think, I think you're asking for, because there's a difference between a store name and your brand. So what I would recommend, and that question has been a lot asked in the Facebook, I would recommend that you have your store as a very broad name, a general name. For example, Andrew's store. Then you can have multiple brands underneath that store. So you can sell multiple brands on the same account. For your approach, how you want to deal with it, it's up to you. But we're building a brand. We want to build one brand and many products around this specific brand. And that will add more value to our business and will have a better exit strategy for the future. For you, I mean, it's everyone has his own method. If you wanted, for example, one of my brands, what I'm doing, it's a very broad brand. Basically, I can sell anything. Open brand, they call it. So I can sell multiple things and see which one that is going to hit very well, and then I'm going to build a brand around this specific product. So it's all up to you. But I would recommend being a brand in one niche and stick to it, because you will know it better and you'll be able to produce more product on the same niche. And that's going to help you a lot in selling your product. And also you can cross-advertise later on, which is going to help you a lot.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome, brother. Got my answer. Okay, guys, any other questions? Let's keep it going.
I have one.
Go ahead, man.
All right, so this is a question for everyone. Are you guys familiar with like Google SEO and Google Shopping ads? And have you guys tried those on your Amazon listing? So basically, when people search for whatever you're selling on Google, your listing would come up either as an ad or, you know, just as an organic result.
I have never done that, so I'll leave that to Seth. But I know that optimization is more for Google, not for Amazon. But I'll let Seth.
Absolutely. So I couldn't tell what the first part you said, EHOB, but the second I heard is Google Shopping ads. What was the other one you talked about? Was it Facebook ads?
No, it was Google SEO, because sometimes I search for some stuff and it shows Amazon listings on the first page of Google. So I was wondering if we can do that for our product.
So you can. So if your listing is optimized really well for keywords, it can actually rank on Google without you having to do anything on Google. I mean, really, search engine optimization. And when he says SEO, just to make sure everyone understands, that means search engine optimization, how to make your listing so that it will pop up at the top of the page as much as possible when someone searches it. So when you rank well on Amazon, it will, if you could try this even, if you search a really popular product, you found it on Amazon, go search it on Google and it comes up, that does help. And that's sort of a byproduct of doing a really good job on Amazon. I've used Google AdWords, I've used Facebook ads for other stuff. I don't use them for my store. And I'm not saying it's not effective. It can be for some, but it makes no sense to me when we have one of the most powerful ad campaigns for Amazon within Amazon. Like when people go to Amazon, 99 times out of 100, they're going there to buy. When people go to Facebook, 99 times out of 100, they're going there to connect. And on Google Ads, usually it's research, maybe buy, maybe connect. It's more mixed. So the way I look at it is, I would rather put $1, in a small bucket. If my chance of, or one fish, how about this? One fish in this little bowl, my chance of catching one fish out of here is much greater than if I put 100 fish in an ocean. See the difference? Whether that's the only fish. So it's better to narrow it. It's kind of like long tail keywords. You want to narrow it down and increase your chance of conversion. And so that's why I use Amazon's PPC ads. And I work with some people who do $6-7 million a month in revenue, more than I do. And they've used, and I'm not saying you can't use Facebook ads, but they've tried it. And the feedback I received from them as well is the same. Why not just stay with Amazon? Unless you're expanding outside of Amazon and you want your e-commerce to become huge. Now that's a different story and that's a different situation. We are actually, Grow is just about to be released, like within probably 24 hours, but we are building a whole other stage called Expand. And that's about how to expand outside of Amazon. If you're trying to build a huge e-commerce empire, how to do that. So you're on multiple platforms. You're selling on Walmart, Amazon, eBay, Instagram. That's the next stage of the program that we're coming out with, and it will go in depth on that. But right now, I would just focus on Amazon and kill it on Amazon and make your money there. Then you have capital to expand because it is much more expensive. You will spend hundreds of dollars, thousands more to get buys on Google Ads and Facebook than you will on Amazon, because Amazon is already so niche down to just buying customers.
That's true.
Does that answer your question, Ihab?
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you, Seth.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, well.
So Tiff said, what is an open brand? I'll let you take it since you had mentioned it.
What did I do? All right, open brand. Actually, open brand is just a brand. It's very general name. For example, when you want to open a regular brand, a baby brand, you're gonna call it, for example, very niche down, like sad baby care. Okay, for example, this one I called it Easy Solutions. So basically, it's a very broad name. It's not niche in any category. So what I did, I got that brand, Easy Solution. I'm gonna throw products in it. Anything that will sell, I will put it there, and I see which one's gonna sell well, and then I'm gonna pick it and make it its own brand. That's what they call open brand. I can have babies, I can have industrial and scientific, I can have outdoor, sports and outdoor, home and kitchen, everything in one category, which is I don't recommend it to anybody to do, but I'm doing it just at the sake of
That's what they call it, open brand. I can have babies, I can have industrial and scientific.
Fitness, can you mute your mic for us, please? It's just, thank you. It's just, we're getting reverb. Thanks.
I hope that answered the question to Tiff. Eventually, Suzanne, actually, you're right. If you do that, you would need, later on, if you wanted to make it its own brand, you would need to have its own website to be able to apply for brand registry. But in the beginning, if I get approved already for one product under the Easy Solution, I can add another products to it without them, without applying again for it. If I wanted to name it under the Easy Solution, you understand me? But I would definitely, for each brand, I will have its own social media, all the names, I try to reserve them, and also the domain, to make sure that later on, if it has a big hit and to be able to sell a lot, I make sure that I have those in hand. I don't need to go and fish and go buy them and try to convince someone else to give me their domain for whatever price.
And you can actually register as many brands as you want on Amazon. So Susan, if for your water bottle, you had one brand, Sky Solutions or something, well, that's pretty open, but I'm trying to think of something where I'm just going to make up something. So, kitchenware or drinking solutions, then you could sell all your drinking type ware under that brand. And then if over here you're doing health and beauty, you might do something completely different, like Beautify or something, and that's a different brand, even though your store name might be super generic. And I think this confuses a lot of people, and probably we should, I could create a video on it, Saad, but I think people get confused over several things. So the name of their store, the name of their business, the name of their brand, right? They're really, and then which one of those do I trademark? It really gets confusing. And if this helps at all, here's what's really cool. When you figure out the name of your business, let's just say it's Solutions, super generic. If that's trademarked, okay, whether it's the logo or the name or the logo, the name, or the slogan that it goes with, you can put all your brands underneath that trademark and protect it on Amazon. You don't have to go, if you have 4 brands, you don't need to get 4 trademarks. Just one basic, and that's what I recommend you do, is your business name, generic name, trademarkable. Then you can do all of it that you want with brands underneath it, as long as the kind of trademark you got is for generic products sold in retail. There's different kinds. So you have your trademark to protect you. You have your brands underneath that trademark. So for example, if Solutions is the name of my trademarked company, okay, and this is kitchenware is my brand on Amazon, it's going to be kitchenware by Solutions. Because I have the word Solutions in there, it's trademarked, this is now protected. No one else can sell it, and it makes it easier for me to get brand gated. The name of your store, like Saad was saying, keep it simple, keep it innocuous and generic. It doesn't need to be something super special. And the truth is, most people don't even care what the name of your store is. But, you know, keep it generic enough so it doesn't say like baby products, but you're over here selling, you know, sports cars. That would be a little weird.
So I have another question regarding that. Sorry, I have laryngitis.
No problem. Go ahead.
So I brand registered the Sky Bottle, and I opened a Shopify store under the Sky Bottle, and have some social media presence under the Sky Bottle as well. But then I realized that that really narrows down my niche. And if I wanted to add products under the Sky, so the Sky socks or the Sky whatever, I can easily open another website, but then I will have to rebrand register the Sky Trade or the Sky something, right? Under Amazon.
Right. If it's going to be a different brand name, then yes, you have to register another brand. Yes, that is correct.
Because I figured it would be a lot easier to have all the Sky products under the Sky website. It says the Sky Trade, and they're all outdoor related, rather than have to manage, you know, several websites.
And if that's the case, if I were you, Susan, I would go and register a more generic name and then put everything underneath that, especially if everything on your website is going to be bottles. You don't need a different brand for different bottles, you know? I would just have one that fits all of them. You can even have Sky Bottle be your name thing, and then one of your featured products is the Sky Bottle, but you have other bottles as well. A lot of companies do that too. Like they'll have a featured product, it's the same as their brand, but everything else is still under the brand, but they're almost like different versions. Does that make, kind of like Mac. When you think Mac, you think Apple, the Mac is a computer, but then you have different kinds of Macs that come out, even though there originally was one featured Mac. Does that make sense?
Yeah, gotcha. Thank you.
Very good.
No problem.
Can I ask a question? Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, hi, this is actually Anna. I'm sorry that my name comes up as Health Fitness. I think that's because of my email, but yeah, that's me. I'm going to see if I can try to make my question not so confusing. So I have 2 email addresses that I use to make, you know, I had one email address that I use to set up my seller account, and then I have a second email that I use to just make personal purchases on Amazon. And so I accidentally used the email address that I used to go into my seller account when I made the purchases for the review products. So it is showing purchases. I don't know if it's attached to my seller account or if it's just I don't know what it's attached to. I just know that I used the email address that I always use to enter my seller account, and that's what I use to make the purchases. So that's why I'm confused. Does that make sense?
Yes, basically you're telling me that you basically purchased the product from your seller account, which is not possible. I know maybe the emails are the same, but I wouldn't worry about it that much because there's 2 different identities. Buying and selling is 2 different even departments. So I wouldn't even worry about it at all.
Okay, so I don't need to worry that it's coming underneath like my seller account or anything. It's just an email address that's not associated at all.
Yes,
okay.
It wouldn't bother you at all.
Okay, that was my concern because I'm trying to really separate the 2, like have my personal stuff and my seller stuff and I don't want, because I heard some, and I don't know where I heard, but someone was saying that if you're making personal purchases underneath your seller email, it causes some kind of issue down the road. So I was just concerned, but it's not going to cause any issues.
I have heard about it that you will have some issues only if you're like a big brand, and for people they can snoop around your email and they'll be able to find what you're selling. That's the only thing. They will be able to have their own tweaks to be able to match your email address to be able to find what you're selling. But at that stage, I don't think you should worry about it that much. Even if you were worried about it that much, you can go in the back end in the setting on your account. You can change the email address.
Okay, and I'll probably do that eventually anyway, because I'm trying to like get a, down the road I want to get a website and just make it more professional. So, but for now, I don't need to worry about it. So that's more or less what my concern was. Can I ask one other question, please?
Okay, let's go. We'll give you a chance. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm like in the stage right now where I'm trying to do like the resale. I believe that's what it's called. And for the resale, is that something that I need to have like a trademark name for that, from doing that in my state, or is that attached to like my FEIN number, which is totally separate from like my trademark name or something?
Do you mean like you're reselling products from the store? I just didn't understand the question very well.
Right, because I was talking to the Department of Revenue for my state. They said that for me to sell on Amazon, I have to have a resale certificate. A certificate, right. So I'm just confused as to whether or not I need to already have an established, because I'm hearing you guys talking about like having your LLC and your corporation and all that stuff. Do I need to have that set up to do the resale, or I don't have to do that yet?
Actually, it's a plus if you want to do it, but in the beginning, if you're not making any sales and you're still not, first of all, I'm not a taxes guy. I have nothing to do with it. I'm just giving you an opinion, and I'm sharing my experiences with other sellers that I know. I would just sell a product. I would sell the products when I reach to the point where I'm making enough money. I would personally go ahead and start do everything legally. I will do the LLC. I would get the resale certificate if I needed to. I think the resale certificate is very important for wholesalers. If you want to do a wholesale, I think you will need the resale certificate. Is very important to be able to sell other brands. But for now, I wouldn't hang up on that stage. I would think you should just go ahead, find a product that's very high potential, and start selling. We start making money. I bet you, I guarantee you want to do LLC, because we'll save you a lot of money in taxes, and you'll be able to have more money in that case.
Okay, so at what point do I need to start being concerned with, because when I was talking like the Internal Revenue, they're like, yeah, you need to do it now. You can't sell on Amazon if you don't have it. So I don't need to worry about any of that.
You know what? I'll let Seth take that. He's more familiar with the U.S. Regulations.
So it's not the IRS you're referring to, right? Health Fitness, you're referring to your state, because IRS, they're not concerned about that, but your state is. So all you need to do is go to your state and just ask them. Say, here's what I'm doing. What do I need to register for this to be legal? So for example, when I used to have a vape shop here in Austin, I had to get a seller's license for Texas. That was required. Not required for online Amazon. So I let it expire. I need to be a business entity. So first I was sole proprietor, then later it became an LLC S Corp combination. So, the best way to handle it is go directly to your state, because every state has different laws on that. Like when I used to live in California and I had an entertainment business, I had completely different. We had to do a doing business as, I know some of you guys have done this in California, had to have a business license. Like it was a lot more regulations than in Texas to run a business, and a lot more strict. So I would go to your state and just ask them, and they will know. They're the authority on that. But as far as the IRS, that shouldn't affect you. All they care about is your income tax.
No, it wasn't the IRS. It was the Department of Revenue.
For what state? What state are you talking about?
For the state of Florida.
Yeah. So when you talk to them, Did they tell you what you need to do in order to sell on Amazon?
Yeah, they said that I need to have the resale certificate.
Okay.
So,
And did they show you how to get it?
yeah, they sent me a form, or well, actually, it's online. It's online. It's a form that you go to online, and you've completed. But it just said something about having like a company name, and I didn't know if that meant that I should already have an established LLC or something.
I see. So in that case, you can do two things. Well, you can do three things technically. You can just put in your name, which means you'll be filing as a sole proprietor. It's the easiest, it's the least expensive, and it's the most risky. But it really isn't risky until you're making a ton of money, which I don't know. If you're making a ton of money, I wouldn't do it. If you're making a ton of money, then you become sue material, and if people sue you and win a lawsuit, they can take all your personal assets if they win. That's the disadvantage of a sole proprietorship. But it's super easy and simple. So that's why I recommend for a lot of people, if you're limited on capital and time, start as a sole proprietor, upgrade to an LLC when you're ready. That's what I did. But if you don't have an actual company entity, put in your name and your social security number, and that will register your personal identity and your sole proprietor business are one and the same. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it.
No problem. And then Susan Safari asked, is there any risk involved with an open brand? No, not at all. You want to expound, Saad?
Shouldn't be any problems with that. There's no risk. You're just selling products under the same brand. Shouldn't be any problems with that. It's increasing your chances of finding the right product with the right brand around it. The right brand around the right products. So it shouldn't be a problem. So let's go, guys. We have only, for example, 5 minutes. So let's take more questions. If you have any, let's go ahead.
Andrew Perez said in the start page, he's in the start stage, and I'll throw this one to you, Saad. He says, I'm focusing on the courses and product research while building capital for test run. I'm afraid of fees, eating my capital, getting my product going. What can I do to avoid this?
Okay, so he wants to find a way where he can be able to generate some capital.
Yeah, and I think what he's saying, so he wants to do a test run. So I think he's referring to getting samples and trying it on Amazon, but he's afraid of fees, eating his capital, and he wants to get his product going. And how can he avoid that?
Yes, actually, I mean, that's one of the issues with the capital. You need to I would recommend the test order to be around 200 to 300 products to actually make sure that this product has a demand. So it's up to you. I know the first test order usually not going to make money. It's more about building the business and be able to approve the concept of this product. So I would, if you have a limited budget, I would think about it a little bit and make sure that you choose the right product, because you're not going to make money. You have to put also in consideration that at the beginning is only promotions, and also there's other expenses associated with that. You need to build your website. You need to have some budget for PPC in the beginning. So there's stuff that you need to be very careful with. When I started the business, I went with a very good model. It's a retail arbitrage. Basically, I was just flipping products, buy them from a store and flip them to have a capital to be able to do my private label. I started with that. It's not a very good model because you need to work hard on it. But if you want to generate some money and have a side hustle, you can do that until you get enough capital to be able to start with comfort. I wouldn't recommend you put the last pennies of your, the last dollar in your account into a business if you're not sure 100%. That's my intake.
Well said, really well said.
Anybody else? Do you recommend getting insurance for some? Actually, there is some companies, they do some insurance for your product, for liability insurance. It all depends on you. For sure, it's a plus to have it. If you have a product that's very risky and something that goes on the skin or can be consumable, I would highly recommend it, because you don't want to be liable for any injuries, because in that fact, when you do private label, basically you're a manufacturer, so everything goes back on you. So yes, for sure. And actually, when we look for a product, we make sure that they're safe a bit in the beginning. Make sure they're not harm anybody. And later on, for sure, when you expand, I would highly recommend getting insurance on your products for sure, 100%. All right. Anybody else has?
I have a question.
Let's go ahead.
What's the difference between Trade Assurance and Alibaba's own escrow service? I don't understand why they have two different things going, because I was kind of confused. I thought they were, one.
You know what? I thought also, I mean, I've never dealt with it, but I know that Trade Assurance is a kind of escrow. But you know what is the same thing? Trade Assurance is the same thing as escrow. Basically, someone Alibaba will hold the money until the buyer receives the product and gives the okay to Alibaba to release the money to the seller, to the manufacturer, to the supplier. That's my understanding. Actually, if you go on the video that we had last webinar, I think, or the last webinar, Melissa went over that on Trade Assurance. She does it a lot, and there's a pre and post delivery insurance. So I recommend you to go through that. But I know it's the same. I don't know if Seth has another experience with that.
No, yeah, and if that webinar, it's exactly, so it is, what is today, Saad? Wednesday. So yeah, so you'll see it on the coaching page. It's right there, but she goes through that. They changed the names of several things in Alibaba over the last few weeks. The results are going to be the same though. So it's exactly what he said. They're holding an escrow to make sure you get your stuff. Both parties agree. Then they get their money, you get your product. So either way, Ehab, you're going to be fine. Alibaba has never, ever, ever failed me. I've had suppliers fail me, but I've never seen Alibaba screw people over. Because remember, Alibaba is a company with a bunch of other suppliers using the company. Some are legit, some are shady, some are, complete scams. You're doing anything through Alibaba, they do back that up. And that's why they're like 10,000 times bigger than Amazon. They're huge. And that's why they do so well.
All right, thank you. It's just I tried to pay even with the escrow service, and it wouldn't accept the money. And then I contacted them. They said we had to verify it, so I had to take a picture of my card and a driver's license and a banking statement. Have you guys dealt with that before?
I have, and that's at the beginning, but not later on, because once they know you, they trust you more. That's a good sign. Like the fact that they're vetting you, Ehab, should make you feel very good about sending your money, because they're so picky, even for a buyer, right? Like you're the one giving money, and they're vetting you first to protect the supplier, which I think is pretty awesome. Let's take one more question, guys, real quick, if you're okay with that, Saad, because there's one more that came up in the chat. Okay. Doro says, hi guys, my question is about differentiating my product by bundling. I just made a video today on this. So if I add to my bundle a product from other brands, or I should say the product that is sold already by Amazon, is it possible? If I add to my bundle a product from another brand, I would make it your own brand, Doro, your own private label. Or I should say the product that is sold already by Amazon. So yeah, if there's a product being sold by Amazon, let's say it's a little disc, right? There's this little disc on Amazon. This could be by a brand, but I can go get my own made with my own label, my own logo. And that's what the essence of private labeling is. So when you bundle, I would bundle with a private label, a generic brand, so it's yours. I wouldn't use someone else's brand in that bundle. That way it's yours. You protect yourself in the future. Because once you start selling a ton, then all of a sudden everyone wants to copy what you're doing, and hijackers come up, and you've already taken careful steps to assure that you're going to be okay.
Right, that's perfect. So I guess we'll leave it at that. I think we had a very perfect and productive session or Q&A. I hope next time, guys, get prepared more. If you have any more questions, just keep them for that time. Or also you can reach us on Facebook. For sure, we answer all the questions. Just give us 24 hours at max, and we'll be able to get back to you. We're sorry we're not covering everything, but sometimes, the feed, they just get buried. That's what Seth mentioned today. But we'll make sure to get to you. And if you would like to ask the question again and it was buried, just comment on it again, so for it to go up in the beginning of the feed, so we can answer right away. And if you want it, you can tag us, and we'll be able to get back to you as soon as we can.
And real quick, Saad, I'm so glad you mentioned that, brother, because what we're going to do, team, is this will make it even easier than tagging, is just put hashtag coach at the beginning of your question. And then all we have to do as coaches is search #coach, and it'll show us all the questions. So please use it wisely, though. Don't, for anything, everything, an impulsive question, and they say, oh, I saw it, he'll answer. You know what I mean? Do your research, do your work. There's only so much time we have in the day. We want your questions to be answered. But if it's something that's answered in the videos, that's what those are for. If you have a question, you need help, put #coach. We will take it seriously, because there's so many comments now, which is awesome. I'm thankful for it. That, like Saad said, it's hard to find those questions. And if 10 people comment, boom, it gets pushed way down. It's really easy to miss and not see it. So just remember, #coach. And I'm going to type it right here so you guys can see it. This is if you have a question, an important question that you need a coach's answer to. Now, anyone else who wants to answer the question as well, totally fine. Like, there are many people in here with great knowledge who aren't officially coaches, but they're still doing a lot of the work of a coach. But I think that'll really help. But if you have other random comments like, hey, welcome, blah, 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 don't put #coach in there. It'll make us to be able to cover them better. So, yeah.
Definitely. All right, so we're going to leave it at that. Everyone have a great, great evening. And hopefully we see you next Wednesday at the same time, the same place, but I don't know if the same people.
All right, see you guys.
Take care. Bye.